Is it okay for one of your friends to chop off his own arm and serve it to you as food? And is it okay for a female to walk around in public topless? Well, you will find out in just a moment, as today we will look at 20 things you thought were illegal but aren't. Military tanks. In several countries, including the US, it is completely legal to own a freaking tank. Not only you can own your own tank, you can even drive one in the streets. But there are also regulations. For example, your tank cannon must be deactivated, and to drive the tanks in the streets, you must have rubber tracks. I would own a tank if I can afford one, because tanks can cost upwards of $40,000. Cannibal. Even though cannibalism can be horrifying, there are no laws preventing us from eating human flesh, though it is illegal to kill someone for their flesh. But if someone gives consent to chopping off their arm, cook it, and serve it to others, it is perfectly fine. But what sane person would do this to themselves, and who would even eat human flesh? Bestiality. There are several states in the US that is 100% legal to have sexual relations with an animal. Yes, that's right. It's not a crime to have sex with your livestock. But what about the poor animal? Did it give you consent? Underage drinking. In some states in the US, you can give your kids alcohol legally, even if they're underaged. In 2013, the state Supreme Judicial Court in Massachusetts ruled that parents can give their kids alcohol legally at home. Now, I'm not one to judge, but this does raise concerns. Picture day. I personally never like taking photos. Somehow, I always end up with a weird expression on my face while taking one. But I will never wear a spaghetti strainer on my head while taking a photo. A woman in Utah wore a spaghetti strainer on her head while getting her driver's license photo taken. It was allowed because of religious reasons, and it was perfectly legal. Barefoot pedal. If you have not already known, driving barefoot is completely legal in most countries, including the US. Although it is not as safe as driving with footwear, you will not get into trouble if you ever get pulled over. But personally, I will never drive barefooted and put others in danger. Caged tigers. Although tigers are ferocious and dangerous to have around, it is possible to own one. In several states of the US and Canada, it is legal, but you will need a permit first. I would not recommend owning a tiger as a pet. There is a slight chance that it could break out of its own cage and maul you. Corporal punishment. In the US, 19 states still allow corporal punishment. Yes, that means teachers are allowed to spank or hit your child when he or she done something wrong. Punishment should only be dished out by the parents when your children done something wrong, but not the teachers. I don't think any state should still allow corporal punishment. Pet bear. Apparently in 9 different states in the US, you can own a brown bear. You can capture a brown bear and own it as a pet without getting into trouble. However, I will not advise keeping a brown bear as a pet, seeing how dangerous it can be. And also, it will cost an arm and a leg to feed it. Card counting. Is card counting during a blackjack game illegal? No, it is not. It is perfectly legal to count cards during a game. But if you're caught counting cards in a casino, they can ban you from ever playing blackjack again or from the casino altogether within their rights. But are you good enough to get away with counting cards? Cousins. If you and your cousin are in love, you can actually legally marry each other in the US. In 11 states across the US, you can legally get a marriage license. Although it is taboo, People are within their rights to do whatever they want to. Flamethrowers. As dangerous and awesome as this sounds, owning a flamethrower is legal in some countries. However, this fueled weapon is banned in many countries, but if you happen to live in the US, you can own one legally. As dangerous flamethrowers may be, in some southern parts of North America, this fueled weapon is used to fend off killer bees. So, if you're ever interested in having your own flamethrower and live in the US, you're in luck. Radars. What if I tell you that you could get away with speeding on the road majority of the time? Yes, it is dangerous and you could put yourself and others in danger, but it is possible. Having a radar in your car detects whenever an officer are checking for speeds on the road. It is completely street legal in several countries including the US. Firing range. You can turn your backyard into a fire range, only in Florida. Yes, as crazy as that sounds, it is completely legal. Though there are some safety regulations. For example, you can't fire your arms over someone's house. It seems dangerous to have a fire range in your backyard anyway. Nudity. In most states, it is illegal to walk around fully nude. But what about going half nude? Females can actually walk around in public places topless. It's bold of them to do so, but perfectly legal at the same time. However, I believe that females should be fully clothed at all times because children are also in public and you will not want them to be exposed to nudity. Privacy. Did you know that in Washington, it is perfectly legal to record a person's phone call? Yes, you can have your private phone calls secretly recorded without you knowing. That's not the only shocking thing. Also, in several US states, it is only required by law that one person know the call is being recorded. I'm sure that this is not the only outrageous thing that the government does without us knowing. Sunglasses. It is obvious that driving with sunglasses at night is not safe at all, but there is no actual law against it. But why would anyone wear sunglasses in the middle of the night while driving? And does it raise concern for public safety? Identify. You might think that all law enforcers and undercover officers are supposed to identify themselves when asked, but that's not true at all. Officers are able to lie about their identity while undercover, and it's completely legal for them to do so. However, if they are in uniform, they have to identify themselves or if they arrest you. Lockpicks. If you have not already known, owning a set of lockpicks and using them are completely legal, though you can't use it for theft or picking on private property. You can lockpick your own property without getting into trouble. However, I don't like the idea of thieves owning a set of lockpicks at any time. Missiles. In South Carolina, you can do something so awesome that other states can't do, and that's firing a freaking missile. But you will need permission from the Department of Commerce before you can fire one. If you have fire a freaking missile on your bucket list, head to South Carolina now.